All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. It occurred to me partway through that we weren't really communicating any of that with you, but we were having some issues on Failed Destiny's end. We were trying to get resolved, and unfortunately, we were not able to. So, Pot of Greed is going to be playing their sub player in this game, and we should just be hopping in a draft momentarily. I guess bigger picture here. I'm AJ0 with Thrifty Senpai and still super special streamer UTech, and we're bringing you the 2 and 3 Pot of Greed versus the 1 and 4 Gruden's QB camp in another really meaningful game because both of these teams are trying to keep up with the race for the 4th seed to make playoffs.
Yeah. And what do you mean you can't? Oh God, please no. But yeah, 4th place seed, super contested still. Everyone's still in this in the league, but it's really kind of split into top 3 and bottom 3. Okay, thank God.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so no, we've got it. But yeah, no, really, really big game because, like we said, top 4 in the SBL make playoffs, and these two teams are most likely going to be the two teams competing for it. Obviously, One Trick Bronies still have a chance, but they look a little more dead to rights than any of the other teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing was both of the big thing that is
that's an anti-ban.
All right, second ban was an anti-ban. In the future, please message me.
Oh, sorry.
User left your channel.
So,
not a good night for production.
God damn, that just killed my train of thought. Anyways, so yeah, the big difference between these two teams and the One Trick Bronies is that all 3 of these teams definitely there's something messing up.
UTech, is Tim lagging out on you too? Oh no. Am I lagging out?
You're fine. You sound fine at least. But maybe it wasn't Riot, maybe it was just you and Destiny couldn't fucking have a connection right, and that was the whole problem the whole time.
Yeah, you guys sound fucked for a minute there, but it seems like it's fixing itself.
Okay. But yeah. So I'll just talk about the team stuff later once we get into more of the champ select, past champ select, because we're already mowing through this with all our situations. Oh, we have a Lucian, Annie, and Syndra ban from Pot of Greed, fired back from the triple ban at Purple Pickle Pie from QBC with Jace Fiora Kled. Pot of Greed retaliates with a Graves, which is still a very, very powerful jungler, and that's definitely been known to be one of Memenomic's favorites. So we'll see how he is able to perform on that. Let me see Lee Sin and Braum coming from the QBC. Braum is one of Kishot's most commonly played champions. Lee Sin, that however spices things up a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty different than what we normally see QBC pick. Not something you really think of as a Wang pick in the jungle.
No,
makes me wonder.
As far as I know,
I wonder if they're gonna be switching things up with their roster because obviously it has not been going well. They've only beaten the winless One Trick Bronies so far this season.
With that roster, they had. Oh wait, no, completely, yeah. And they weren't running this roster when they beat the One Trick Bronies.
Yes, they were running Wang in the jungle. That was Wang's Shaco game where they won very much in spite of Wang's performance. 1-7-4
that's
on the
right.
Shaco.
The inspiration for Wang watching. That's right. But yeah. Seeing Ziggs and Ezreal picked up. Ezreal always been one of Cameron's favorite, and we can assume, I don't know much about Phoenix plays, but I can assume that Ziggs is either his best, most comfortable, or favorite mid laner. Because every time he's been on, if it's not been bad, he's picked it, and it did get him an MVP on an excellent performance week 1.
Yeah, he's been solid on the Ziggs, which Ziggs not the most difficult champion in the world to be solid on either, and especially on a team like Pot of Greed where he doesn't need to be the star.
No, but Ziggs gets a lot done. Like, sure, he's not the most, like, besides the Mega Inferno Bomb, he's not the flashiest champ, but he does a lot of work. And if you're like you said, not super hard to be solid on, but if you are solid, he puts in a lot of
Yeah,
work.
he
As a
does a
very
lot of work.
safe mid laner too.
Yes, he does a lot of work and he does it with ease. So you get to sit back and play fairly safe while you let Cameron Purple Pickle Pie hopefully carry the game.
Yeah. We see Ari though, which is a champion that does have a good amount of kill pressure on them, being one of the better aggressive mids for playmaking. Yeah, that doesn't really give us too much about like the roster swaps because as far as I know, like all the people that do play mid on that team also play Ari. So
Yeah, just a general fun pick. And QBC gonna pick up Caitlyn for their 80 carry player. So that's going to be a really good matchup in the bot lane. Caitlyn, there's a lot of different ways you can abuse an Ezreal when you're playing Cait. So I really like that pick. I'm not crazy about the Ezreal pick out of Cameron. But Nautilus Jarvan coming in to round out the composition for Pot of Greed. So looking like going to be Jarvan in the jungle, Nautilus support, and then Jarvan and Graves between the jungle and the top lane. If I had to guess, I'm going to say that's Graves in the jungle and Jarvan top. I know Purple has been playing a lot of the top lane Jarvan lately, and obviously anyone that knows me as a top laner, I'm a big fan of that. And I think it's going to get rounded out with Maokai being picked most likely for Grand Spiffy. That's a pick he's played once so far this season, and just it's not a great matchup if it's against Jarvan. So I think these players are gonna rearrange into their actual roles. So we will know in a moment here. Ooh, this could get spicy. Nope, I got my hopes up for nothing, guys. I thought we were gonna see Cameron in the mid lane for a second there. Maybe we are gonna see Cameron in the mid lane. No, these guys are just fucking with me. All right, but on quarterback camp, we are gonna get to see the roster they played in week 1. So we got Wang in the mid lane, Sasquatch in the jungle, Darth Evo in ADC, and coming out of Pot of Greed, it's going to be Demonomics back in the jungle after playing 2 weeks in mid lane. Phoenix Blaze going mid, and then Cameron Frisky Senpai in the bot lane.
Understood.
Which this will be the first time Cameron hasn't played with Failed Destiny, so we'll see how that goes. I know I was pretty critical of Failed Destiny on the stream Thursday night. I don't think he's been as good as he's been in prior seasons, so we'll see. Frisky Senpai maybe can do some good things down there with Cameron. But this should be a really exciting matchup because we're trading one worse jungler in the SBL for the other, with Wang stepping out but Meme stepping back in. I know we've been really hard on Meme all season, but honestly, he's kind of deserved it. I think he was not very good in the jungle when he played it. His second and third weeks in particular, he had a 2-8-2 Rengar game and a 2-12-12 Hecarim game where he looked like he was doing his best My Wang impression. So we're not going to get to see those guys going at in the mid lane, but we'll see if Meme can play a little bit better than he had been the last time he was jungling. So Thrifty Senpai gave me the AFK 1 minute, and he has now taken 3. You give a man a minute, and he takes 3. This is why you gotta vote Republican.
Wow. All it takes is I have to be gone 2 more minutes and you're voting Republican instead now?
We're gonna make Rise great again. God damn it. So don't worry, all you missed was Pot of Greed trading who was gonna play what role for like fucking ever before they finally were ready to draft. I went through the emotional roller coaster thinking Cameron was going to play mid like 3 separate times. But so we got some spice coming out of both of these rosters. I don't know if this was planned out of Pot of Greed or this was just a result of Failed Destiny not being available, but I'm going to assume this was planned since Failed put obviously be playing support, and Frisky Senpai stepped in for support. So we see Phoenix plays in the mid lane and Memenomics back in the jungle. And
Yeah.
I just want to say this one more time because I think it's dank. I really enjoyed that we got to trade one worse jungler in the SBL for the other, with Wang stepping out of the jungle but Meme stepping back in.
Never missing a chance to fire some shots. Man.
Some people just deserve it, man. You gotta.
Dude, no, that's fair.
This is the SBL. You get shot at. It's a dangerous place. It's like standing out in the street in the hood. Like, you could just get shot at if you're in this league. It's part of life. So, didn't really do a whole lot of intelligent breaking down while you're gone, so we can go through some of these matchups real fast. So, top lane, Purple Pickle Pie on the Jarvan up against Grand Spiffy's Maokai. Grand Spiffy has looked a little behind in top lane versus a lot of the competition, and this is not going to be an easy matchup for him. Not the direction I would have gone if I were last picking for my top laner, like QBC did, but they're pretty content to just say, fuck Spiffy and fuck Kiss Shot. Like, the rest of us are going to try to carry, just from a mentality standpoint, so I'm not that surprised they did it. But Purple, who is having just the fucking split of his life so far, he has a very, very favorable matchup in the top lane. So if they don't want Spiffy to just get deleted out of this game early, Sasquatch is probably going to want to put some attention up into that top lane.
And that scale's really scary as well. Like, Jarvan, if he gets going, it's not going to be like some other ones where it's just like, okay, this guy's really annoying because we could not kill him no matter how hard he does, and he sets everyone else up. It's no, he's going to come and he's going to slam, like, delete 2 people off this QBC team as the fight starts if he gets fed.
Yeah, and Purple spent a lot of time getting fed lately. So, and then going down to the bot lane, I really briefly touched on this during the draft, but I'm just not crazy about picking Ezreal when you have Camera on your team. I want to see something. I want to see something that has a chance of getting a kill in lane, you know? And Evelite, you know, he's a pretty solid AD player. He should be able to abuse this matchup, especially laning with a Braum. Caitlyn Braum is a super... If they're up against an AD carry that they can push on with these, they are super oppressive at pushing and sieging the enemy tower early and often.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why Cameron wants his Ezreal, though, is just because that is like his go-to champ. That is like one of his most played champs he has. And I wonder if like almost part of it is because he likes to be positioned so far forward, and Ezreal's one of like the safer AD carries to do that because he has that blink on a 10-second cooldown.
Yeah, that would make sense. I guess I've never really talked to Cameron too much, so I don't know too much of what's going on inside his head. But it's just really funny to me when you think of Cameron's strengths, like you think it's just lane kills.
That's
but
true.
His favorite champ is Ezreal, and that's like Ezreal doesn't do that. But we haven't actually seen him play the Ezreal that much over his career. This is actually the first time he's played Ezreal this season.
Yeah.
And I believe it was banned against them more than not during the last season. So
yeah, he had like one game where he actually did get kills in lane on it last season, and you know how that goes. It was, but this time he had blinks, and it was really scary. And I remember him just going completely off. I'm gonna be interested to see how these team fights play out, though. Like, there's just a lot of things going on in this fight where it's not one team trying to run into the other or like one kiting back. It's gonna be like fairly intricate.
Yeah, I just realized it's like we went through that entire delay phase without talking about compositions. We just talked about pick matchups, which is really abnormal that we had that much to talk about. But yeah, like you would kind of expect out of 2 bottom tier teams, these aren't super coherent as team comps.
They work though. Like they're not like
they're not awful. They're not bad comps. They're
jack of all trade comps. Like they don't do any single thing like particularly well, but the thing is that they are able to do whatever they need. Like these comps, they can team fight, they can siege, they each have the possibility to split.
Yeah, and I really like watching these super versatile team comps go into game because you really have no idea what to expect. The game could play out any different way when you have comps like these.
Yeah, these comps like these do really make it makes it really interesting to see how it develops, because a lot of times, especially on like the better team is that's using them, is that the comp will switch what it's doing to match what's like going on in the game. where it's like, okay, well, if Jarvan gets really big or like Graves gets really big, they'll opt into like a split somehow with them, or you know, if Ziggs gets really fed, they can siege, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I'm gonna forego the matchup to watch in this game for a player to watch in this game, and
Yeah.
I am 100% in on Wang watching. We have shit on him a lot this season. He has shit on nobody this season, and this switch back to the mid lane is gonna be really big because, man, it's hard to imagine a platinum player putting together as bad of a stretch as Wang did over the last 4 weeks. But Wang's best game in the jungle this season was a 1-3-7 Ivern game. That was his best game in the jungle by far.
He actually was like, the thing was that he actually looked the best on his team probably that game though.
One sec. It always bugs out at the start like this. I'll let you know when I'm in. Can you stop counting for a sec? Yeah, no, it's just starting me like 15 seconds behind you again. So, you want to pause?
I'm in. Oh! Alright. Everyone's stacking up.
Alright, what do you... timestamp? Alright, let me catch up. For those of you that weren't watching the first game, we were having some issues.
I think it's on your end mostly, Swift. Like, because I had no problems with it.
Alright, you were at 39. Alright, let's unpause on 3. 1, 2, 3. And
30 seconds until minions spawn.
you hit the plus button. Oh no, Utech, you hit the plus button! That's the speed up hotkey! What do you pause that?
Production quality, tanking.
Alright. Thank goodness. A lot of Mia pings coming out as I catch up here. Alright, 102. We all at 102. Alright.
I am not. Let me know when you guys hit 110. Just say it's like 110.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. We managed to make it work out. Just took
Yeah.
a bit.
We got to experiment with doing this in the last game, don't worry.
Oh god, I hope we don't have to do it more. So. Yeah. Nothing too crazy in the starts here. Both junglers starting off on the bot side.
Who do you think's the loser that keeps pinging Mia on pot of grade? Fuck that guy.
Oh god, so much Wang watching. And that is the name of the game.
So I will say though, I'm feeling a little better about pot of greed than I did earlier because for the first time in a while, the Dick Suck squad has reassembled. They kind of lost their way as this, Cameron was struggling this season, but I see they're all back in Twitch chat, cheering the boy on.
We may be Wang watching, but the Wang is doomed if that's the case. What do you do if the Dick Suck squad returns?
Get your dick sucked, probably. So, this top lane, I'm really confused here. Purple opting to let Grand Spiffy get a big push, and then in the face of a creep wave, takes a huge chunk of Spiffy's health. That was really funny. Oh,
Yeah.
Purple started with the potion.
Yeah, little respect. I expect he's probably thinking he'll get camped, and he doesn't want to totally disrespect Spiffy.
And
Ooh.
Purple doesn't respect anybody.
Oh,
we
that's
see
fair.
Graves coming in behind this mid lane here. Wang just
You're-
barely able to get out.
You're behind again.
Give me a timestamp.
What?
Yeah, Tim, you're ahead.
How the hell did I get so far ahead?
I don't
Oh
know,
my
but
God.
it happened to Destiny. Like, all match. So... Oh, but we see Grand Spiffy being jumped in on by Purple in a huge creep wave. A good knock from Spiffy there. Going to force Purple to take a ton of creep damage during that trade.
Yeah, Purple's got more pots though, so like the trade's favorable for him overall. He's also gonna get like soak up that creep wave safely under tower.
Yeah, we do see Sasquatch has invaded the enemy jungle. He could be setting up for a dive here on the Pickle. Speaking
Yeah,
of the
that's-
Pickle, Jesus, he's already up 2 waves.
Yeah, no, like that was the thing that. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Well, we see Purple going in, and then Sasquatch is there to meet him. Purple taking a ton of damage. Just barely flashes out with his life.
That was a close call. If oh man. Good presence from Sasquatch there though to be there, because otherwise, I mean, obviously the reason 50 was up that far was because of him there, but they'll burn his flash. They'll probably get his TP as well as he comes back up.
Wayne gets the charm with no mana to follow up. Man, that's a disappointing sight. This is why no one likes mid lane, dude. Bot lane, we always have our right click open.
Dude, you always follow up that charm. He didn't have, with the amount of mana he had, he shouldn't have been throwing the charm out there, honestly. And he's taking a lot of damage from Economics.
Yeah, Wang trying to hold on to his
What?
flash here. Oh, he flashes during the reload animation. I don't think that was necessary. And pause.
agree.
Also, Spectate just randomly freezes on my end, so...
Oh my god.
And then like 10 or 15 seconds, it usually clears itself up.
This is such a mess.
Yeah. The most frustrating thing is that it's like something different happening to everybody. Alright, download failed. Unable to download. I guess you two take over for a sec.
Yep, that's fine. You take, let's go 5'10, 5'11, 5'12. Yep. Keep counting. Alright, you're good. Yep, you're good. I was just a few seconds ahead, so I waited to pause. Just unpause when you were counting. Okay, so... cool. Oh man, fucking production nightmare day. I blame 30. But yeah, so looks like you guys get stuck here with me for a while as AJS gets his stuff fixed.
God bless Rito.
Yep. God, Purple Pickle Pie already having a double CS. We might see the Flame Horizon. Like, if there's gonna be a game to see it, this might be it. Because he is bullying Spiffy immensely. Oh, he goes in, he takes the slam. He does EQ, does a lot of damage to Maokai. Maokai's getting very low. He's gonna flash out. Very low there. Purple Pickle Pie making a really nice trade onto Spiffy.
You tech, can you count me? Good. Alright, I'm in, folks. And yeah, that's my boy, the Pickle, in the top lane, going off early. I got to play this matchup a lot in my final split in the SBL. It's really fun to be the Jarvan in this matchup.
Yeah, however, that nice trade using the ult seems to have like just removed. I mean, the flash burn is what was the important thing there. But it looks like Spiffy is able to sustain and stick around in the lane.
Yeah, Spiffy does have his teleport available, so he can still afford a bad recall. And
Yeah.
he's kind of playing with...
Now he's got
Fire
Sasquatch.
intentionally here.
Like Sasquatch is like purposely like sitting back, trying to look. They're trying to get Purple to bait in onto him, but Purple's not buying it. He's gonna walk over the ward.
Yeah, Purple's generally got some pretty good intuition in the
Ooh.
top lane. And a lot of damage going out in this mid lane.
Yep.
Wang gotta be careful. He has to ult defensively on the minimap there.
Yeah. That was actually in Wang's favor, assuming that he doesn't lose too much farm to this wave. He got the barrier out of Phoenix Blaze, so that was the reason why he was not able to continue being aggressive. But he definitely could have played the... If he would have ulted a bit differently and dodged the skill shots, he might have been able to follow that up for a kill.
Wang watch.
Wang watch. Is that gonna be like the sequel to Overwatch?
It's Overwatch, but all the characters are Wang.
Yeah, like different iterations of Wang. So you have like WCF Wang, you have Waifu Superstar Wang.
Well, Wang already has a character in Overwatch. I mean, Symmetra has autism.
Oh. But
Yo, guys, when I
all the
apply to Casper Riot, don't send them that one. But heading back in the game here, so we got like 800 gold lead in favor of Pot of Greed just from
all
standard
off
laning.
CS.
Cameron is somehow up 12 CS in the bot lane. I don't know how.
He has near perfect CS actually right here.
Yeah, how did that happen?
My guess is that probably the supports aren't being very aggressive, and to be against an Ezreal lane to really actually force the trades with that. I mean, a lot of that is on the Braum in this Caitlyn Braum lane.
Yeah, like the Caitlyn, even if the Braum's not playing well, like the Caitlyn still has so much potential just to force some threat onto Cameron.
The thing is that he can force the threat onto him, but Cameron can still just farm out with Q, and if you like space it correctly, and he can take a few small trays and just heal it up based off of like the shields. Oh, we're Sasquatch and Meme.
They kind of both dash away from each other. That was beautiful.
I love how okay, Director Cam
Yeah, we see
coming back to
Purple
this top
ult
lane
in the
fight.
top lane. He's trying to put damage down into the Maokai ult. Purple not playing this great. Now Wang jumping over the wall. He misses the charm, but I'm not 100% sure that's going to matter. Is Sasquatch running away? Huh? Why did he dash out?
Wow, that was an adventure.
That was a weird skirmish.
Yeah. However, what I want to point out here though is that this CS lead is like increasing in each lane overall. Like sure the percentages aren't, but like they are up to almost a 1.5k gold lead. Oh no, waves bounce, so it's still just 1k. Never mind. I'm
Well,
crazy.
it's about 1100. They bounced it up like 200-300 gold.
Which does still a lot. That's like 10 plus creeps net over the map.
Man,
So-
I feel like I've been really harsh on Evelite a lot recently too, but the way this bot lane is going, he's definitely deserved it. But oh, Wang is showing up on the roam. I think Cameron is out, but Frisky Senpai maybe going to be in some danger here. He's going to drop the depth charge on the way, and now here comes a teleport on a purple pickup line. Watch out, he has some damage items complete. He's going to force the flash out of Evo, and that's that.
That was a good heads up flash from Evo, especially just like not knowing what Jarvan had available, because if Jarvan did have ult and ulted him, he's gonna have to flash anyways, but this way he doesn't lose any health, so he's able to stick around and actually like soak up this wave and not be worried about getting dove.
As a team player, though, that was actually really bad on a QBC. Spiffy could have matched that teleport. He had the wave in top lane in the right situation too, and I think he could have fought that if Spiffy had just teleported in.
That is true. Yeah, if Spiffy would have teleported in, I don't actually notice what his health bar was, but if he would have came in with that, they would have had the 4v3 advantage. Alright.
Now we see Sasquatch showing back up in this bot lane. Kishop going in with no health, but he's not gonna. He drops the Bramble, hits Nautilus, and now Cameron knocked out of the fight. They're giving this kill over to Sasquatch. First blood.
Good flash from Cameron. He saw where Sasquatch tried to do flash kick him and was able to prevent him from getting away. He just flashed out to get a kick to safety.
Yeah, now Purple, barely misses the EQ there for a second knock up on 1E. But Purple did a good job. He baited out this ultimate from Spiffy, and now he knows when he goes in for the EQ, he's gonna force the flash.
God. Spiffy is just getting out with like the smallest of amounts each time. But that's really important. Like, the fact that he hasn't died here, and he hasn't, even though he hasn't had a lot of CSing ability, he's made sure to stay up in EXP at least, which is extremely important as a tank, where you get a lot of stats from just leveling up.
Yeah, overall, I feel like QBC, they could look at that top lane differential, and they're probably satisfied. We see Purple gonna complete the Youmuu's Ghost Blade. That's
aggressive Jarvan. That's gonna be really big for how much damage he's gonna be hitting this Maokai, because Maokai has a Spectre's Call already. Which is a little awkward here.
Why does he have a Spectre's Cowl?
I don't know. I just kind of like looked down and I was like, oh, Glacial Shroud, that's right, Spectre's Call. What?
Do those two build into something together?
No. Oh,
that's really bad. But no, we see the jungler's gonna meet up with this top lane. Sasquatch's gonna Demonomics gonna actually maybe make it up with his ultimate. A 1-for-1 as the junglers both go down. The top laners get the 2 kills. Now Purple chasing onto Smithy. No knockup, so no follow-up.
I'm surprised Purple didn't chase a lot more right there, honestly, afterwards. But yeah, both those kills went onto the top laners.
I don't think Purple had his ult back up. I think it's just about to come up. So, yeah, 5 seconds here on Purple's ult. He's going to go for a kill. He's going to at least have some kill pressure in a sec here. But,
yeah.
Man. I got to go back to this clip. Fucking Spectre's Cowl. That's so bad.
The only person on his team that does any magic damage is gonna see anytime soon is Ziggs. And Ziggs is not gonna be roaming up to help you.
No, they're gonna initiate the 1-3-1 really early. Oh, and now we see Purple going in. There's no flash available from Spiffy as Purple's just awkwardly smacking away, and the Q secures the kill. You know, if he had an extra armor item there, or an extra health item there, Spiffy would have lived.
Yeah, probably would have. Yeah, that's a rough spot to be in.
Now we see Wang going for the all-in on Phoenix Blaze. He drops the Ignite, but just trades for the berry. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, we see Sasquatch coming in, but this is not gonna just barely make it under his turn, but he's going to survive. Camber eats the ace in the hole. Now he's trading 1-3-3 like Camber do. He's playing with fire here. Now Sasquatch is getting in position for the tower dive. Frisky Senpai gonna drop the exhaust as Sasquatch goes under the turret, but Phoenix Blaze is here. Does not have enough damage to secure Sasquatch though. And Camber in a bad place. Phoenix Blaze trying to secure this kill. This is so awkward, but Phoenix Blaze gets the kill. Meanwhile, Demonomics and Purple took 2 turrets.
Yeah, no one else on the team was there. It was only Spiffy, and he was dead.
This is a clown fiesta.
Yeah, all of a sudden, though, we have a massive lead. Like, that's a 3.5, probably going to be a 4K here after they take this mid tower.
This mid tower is down. Purple coming in, dropping the attack speed. Wang has no chance of holding that one. 4,500 gold in favor of Pot of Greed. And if we look at some of these individual leads, most of that coming up Purple Pickle Pie. He's up about 1,600 gold in the top lane, as to be expected. But they have just moderate leads all across the board. 900 on Demonomics, despite being down kills. Phoenix Blaze is up about 700 on Wang. Camber's up about 700 on Evelites. Even the support, Frisky Senpai, up about 600.
Yeah, everyone on this team is like well ahead. QBC's gonna have a rough time coming back from this.
Yeah,
it's definitely possible. They do have really good pick potential between the Lee Sin and the Ahri, so if they, it's definitely possible for them to come back. Like, it is far from being over. It's just not gonna be easy.
Yeah, well, this is a team that struggled all season with the easy things, so I don't know how I feel about them getting the complex stuff executed.
That's fair. Yeah, as we see Purple Pickle Pie, after just butchering the top lane tower, just coming around, he's like, mid's next, we're gonna get this tower, comes down to bot lane. He's a man with a plan.
Yeah, it's
really
smart.
big spear.
He's letting that top lane wave get big, and he's going to eventually teleport up there to claim it, most likely. So he's not going to even really lose much. Although Camera takes a big trade there. That's
rough.
Yeah, because Wang is here. QBC really wants it. Now a flash or a key shot forces Camera's flash. That should be the end of things, but no, Sasquatch, maybe.
They're looking for this. They might be able to revenge.
The Ziggs ult coming in, that's gonna clear out. God, the Ziggs Ezreal ult's chunk Wang a kiss shot. Oh man, dude. Purple, he just wants the teleport to top lane. You guys have no idea.
Oh, no.
Wang stops it.
Yeah, that's, 15, 20 creeps at least. And there's another wave going in. That's a lot of gold and a lot of XP.
Yeah, that was honestly a big enough wave to teleport for. Like,
depending on the situation, but he needed to stick around there to make sure that, everything that was going on. Hammer getting chunked there under that tower from the Braum Q just really, messed up that whole situation momentum they had going.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were in a good situation until suddenly Camera takes 80% of his health for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it wasn't, terrible for them. They're still very far ahead, but this is more of, missed opportunities to capitalize on.
Oh, yeah, and the way POG's been playing all season, if this is the play we're criticizing, that's a huge improvement over where they've been.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, in the top lane we see, Sasquatch misses the Q, so he's got to jump into Spiffy, but Purple EQing out, pops the Yomu's for speed, and now Memenomics, probably not going to be doing much on that flank.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they didn't try and force something there. They are definitely the stronger two right now, but I guess they'd just rather not take something that's like a 60-40 in their favor. Yeah. They know they have the lead, they're just going to play it safe.
Well, I think they also had a lot of their cooldowns down there, so they didn't have a way to really initiate that play, so I'm not too surprised they went for that. But we see Wang showing up yet again in this bot lane.
I want to see Wang use his ult more offensively. He's been sitting on his ult so often that he's just... At least try and make something happen.
What's the worst off-brand soda you can think of? Oh, but in the top lane, we got a fight breaking out. There's the tops and the junglers are both there. Watch out for Phoenix Blaze. He is in range to toss the Ziggs ult up. They could affect this fight as the flashes forward coming out of pot of green. There's Memenomics going to secure the kill on his Spiffy, and now Purple Pickle Pie not done. Going for a bad tower dive, but Memenomics with the Chaos snipe picks up the double, and now in the mid lane, Wang over the and he steps into the Ziggs ult! That was... These guys suck at League of Legends.
The Wang watching. Watchers of the Wang, we stand as the Wang falls.
Wang watching is so fulfilling. I get to just tell everyone he was never any good without me. He stepped into the Ziggs ult and it killed him. That was... Whew, alright, so... that's... Doesn't gotten any better for QB Camp.
Yeah, I mean, that was his first major mistake of the game.
Yeah, you know who is not good at handling trash talk? Sasquatch. I've noticed this is not the first time this season where somebody said something in all chat, and he gets super salty and defensive immediately. And...
There's some salt going down.
It's just, this is the SBL, man. People are going to trash talk you, and especially now that he's kind of getting a reputation as that guy that gets tilted by trash talk. I'm not going to condone trashing on a guy because you think it's more likely to make him play bad, but you got to take every competitive advantage you can get. So, going back on, because I don't think we're going to have long before this team fight breaks out. So, we've concluded Fango is the worst off-brand sort of, but Darth Emo takes the everything. It just barely gets out with this flash. Now, Kishot Underling pours out too, but with Sasquatch coming in very aggressively, Camera being pretty chunked out here. I don't think he's going to walk on this one. He gets killed by Spiffy. but we see Pot of Greed are able to keep pushing forward as Purple Pickle Pie diving way the hell into that tower. Oh my god, such a nice 1 for 4 for Pot of Greed with Purple picking up a double between turrets.
You can't stop the pie, man.
Yeah, this is now a 10k gold lead, going to be 11 and an inhibitor for Pot of Greed.
Yeah, this is... I know I've said some things where I've said these are insurmountable. Actually, I think I've said that about this team, actually. But, I don't know, this is looking pretty bad. 20-minute inhib is a pretty damning thing to have happen.
Yeah, in this game, they've really lost more they're currently losing. It's been more of a result of just poor team playing. They've picked bad skirmishes. They, haven't respected Pot of Greed at all game. But unlike a lot of their other losses, they haven't had just one individual player feed out their ass.
Yeah. No, this is, as far as, like, individual performances go, this roster response helped them a lot. As a whole. But they definitely do have some, like, team play to be desired.
Yeah, the crazy thing, it's a 10k gold lead at 24 minutes, and Camera hasn't even needed to get kills. This has just been really blown wide open by Purple, just dominating in the 1v1.
Yeah.
And that kind of set the stage for everything else that's gone well. And we see they're committing everything to try to take Purple off the board, but he's going to just casually EQ out.
They're going to lose a lot for that.
Yeah, because look at that's 4 members of Pot of Greed pushing up the mid lane.
Ziggsgrave Ezreal?
And Purple's gonna maybe be able to interrupt some backs as Cammer going forward onto Dark Everlight, aiming the True Shot Barrage, but gonna miss it, but gonna right click for the kill. And now Wayne can't even approach him. It's a double kill for Cammer. Can't finish a win without getting a few kills as the second inhibitor goes down.
Yeah, and we might see the game ending here real soon as more and more members are going down.
Oh my god, Spiffy is getting chunked out so hard now. Kishot doing anything he can to save his teammate's life. Or Sasquatch chunked out. This is 2 waves coming in. One of them supers, one about to be. As 280 carries, Cameron Leonomics shredding through these turrets.
Yeah.
And no dive attempted in time. Out of these QB cameras, they're just finally going for it, but Cameron kiting backwards. Him and Leonomics putting out so much damage, and now they're finally able to just right-click on the Nexus. And Pot of Greed pick up their 3rd win to improve to 500.
That was a dominating performance out of Purple Pickle Pie.
Yeah.
Honestly, that whole team, they looked really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Destiny, they look clean.
Maybe Failed Destiny was the problem.
Maybe they just... No, dude, it was the Dick Suck squad. They're back, remember?
That seems like the more reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
So, congrats to Pot of Greed for just looking great in that game.
Dick Suck Squad MVP.
Yeah, God bless the Dick Suck Squad. And to anyone that maybe missed it last game, we are going to be skipping interviews tonight due to the number of technical delays we've been having. So we will be back in just a moment for Game 3, guys, so stick around.